I can tell you what's probably the most memorable, and
Yeah.
and memorable is not necessarily creative, but it relates back to Sea Shepherd, and I filmed the harpooning of a whale, and
Oh,
I can tell you that it took me nearly 2 years to watch that footage back. Like, I didn't watch my own footage for 2 years. Like, I saw it go to air, but the wild footage, I couldn't watch because it's so emotional, you know. I mean, I lived it for 3 months, and then there was, to explain. So the harpoon ship was going along. I was up in the helicopter, and we were filming the scenes with the boats that had all come together. So this boat I was on was called the Steve Irwin, which is following the factory ship called the Nishimaru. And I was up in the helicopter. We're filming like the processing of whales that was going on. And in the distance, the pilot saw a boat that had whitewater coming around its bow. And he's like, oh, they're chasing a pod of whales. So we flew over to that. And sure enough, that's what they were doing. And I always get this mixed up. I think that they chased the pod for 24 minutes before the harpoonist like let go of the harpoon and shot the whale. And then from the time that when that harpoon goes in, it like boom, that boat stops on a dime. I mean, it's so impressive. The whale dived down, and then they wrench it back up, and then the harpoonist puts a couple of shotguns in it. A couple, was actually 7 to be precise. That whole process was 17 minutes. So you got a 24-minute chase that I filmed, but they'd been chasing before I got there. Then another 17 minutes for the animal to die. And it was freaking emotional, and it was heartbreaking, you know.
yeah.
Because I'd been with the Sea Shepherd organisation, the volunteers, and living their everyday life. And so, you know, I became attached. And it was hard, as I said, for me to look back on it, but probably the most memorable thing, because that reached millions and millions and millions of people. And I've actually put it on my website because there's a slight little piece on YouTube that I pulled, and I don't know, it had like 1.5, 2 million views just on YouTube. But what it also did was it brought an understanding for people to go, hey, this is what's going on with the Japanese and what they're doing. And when they saw that footage, it opened them up to help support Sea Shepherd with sponsorship and donations and whatnot. So that little piece in the scene of the show, reached millions of people and was a pretty big deal. So that's, for me, the best part of emotional. I'm sure I've shot way more cleaner, neater, more creative scenes, but that's just from an emotional point.